to Nintendo Switch. It's like when they did the abbreviated Nintendo GameCube into GCN, GameCube and Nintendo. I don't know why they keep messing it up. It's kind of funny that, like, all of Nintendo's consoles have the word Nintendo in them, except for the Wii and the Wii U. Worked for one of them, not the other so much. Also the Virtual Boy, kinda. Anyway, y'all tired of seeing all those weird regurgitating speculation videos on the Switch? Well, this ain't gonna be one of those. Because, like, all the leaks that are coming out are just kind of like whatever. Just people making guesses based off the teaser trailer mostly. The questions that I had as like a takeaway after the reveal were the old Switch Pro controller is going to be compatible with the new system, and what's the screen going to be like? Because it's bigger than the Switch OLED. I'd kind of thought they might just reuse that one. Like, it'd be nice if it was like a 900-piece screen, but like they don't really have to. Like the power target they're going after. Anyway, everything's kind of coming up Nintendo this gen. It's really funny. Like, we've kind of been like in a weird point in like the game industry's time where kind of like the modern game engines like Unreal 5 have kind of just been like a bit of a flop. Waning interest in PS5 over time, as well as Xbox just kind of floundering out. Screwing their own legacy before it even happened. The reason why I keep saying that it's going to come up Nintendo this next gen is just that PlayStation 4 hasn't died. It's still huge install base, and you see like companies like Square Enix and Capcom, these Japanese devs, and just not really embracing the big game paradigms of like only releasing AAA messes that nobody seems to really want. Like the Switch 2 and the PS4 are just going to be the bash-ins for like single A games and all that for all these years, and Nintendo's just going to make bank off this. I think they're upping their own games prices to $70 too, which is, it's a thing. I'm not too upset about it, honestly. It is unfortunate. Yeah, game dev prices go up over time. They've basically just been using the same budgets since like 2012 for their games, so expect dev times to be longer and all that. Yeah, Nintendo's gonna make bank. I've seen a lot of weird speculation that how much the Switch 2 is going to cost, like based off like the PC handheld market, which is just weird to me. Like in the US, you can usually find like a PS5 for like $360, like $400 to $360 for a base PS5. So why would a Nintendo Switch cost a dime over $400? Like, people are like, oh, tariffs. That's not exactly what it is. Especially because, like, their first year volume is going to be not taxed under that, as well as the Switch One's, like, profitability. Like, people, I don't think, understand how much of a margin they made that whole generation. If they have to eat a bit into their margin this generation, they'll be fine. Like, their investors might not be the most happy in like the short term, but in the long term, it's going to pay off for them great. Yeah, they just don't have like a great reason to like badmouth their customers, but predicting Nintendo is also fool's errand a lot of the time. You're gonna get something wrong. Scary, ain't ya? Personally, I was never that big into the Switch 1. It's kind of like the compromise where it's like the worst of both worlds, where it's like, okay, I get this underpowered console that can't run games stably or like any better than my Wii U could. And then if you look at it the other way, it's like, okay, this is a handheld that barely fits in. If I split it up, it'll fit in both of my pockets, but take up both of them. But that'll also ruin the controllers, which had bad sustainability. You just like break terribly. I like barely used my Switch for like traveling around, and still like the right bumper was completely broken and both of the sticks were in bad shape. So yeah, I'm looking forward to when the Switch 2's out, I can finally just like hack mine, because I got one of the launch release ones. People don't remember this because it was so long ago, and people just have like short memories, but you can buy a Switch 1 for the first 3 months. They didn't make enough. They didn't think the demand would be quite as high as it was. And then by late June, came out in March, but by late June, there was a huge resupply, and that's when I picked up mine. I didn't have a great reason to do it. I think I just had like the spare money, so I just went for it. Like I could have played Breath of the Wild on my Wii U. Wanted to try Xenoblade 2, but I didn't think it was going to be any good, so I was like, okay, whatever. I can try it, I guess. Then Smash Ultimate got announced. It's that crazy. E3 that first year. And Smash Ultimate got announced at the start of the next year, and then played through that. I was like, I'm not getting very good at this game very fast. Like, what's up with this? Why is the control so weird? Then I got better at it, and I was like, okay, yeah. This is what the game is. Saw some competitive tournaments, and then after about a year of this, I kind of realized, oh, I just don't like this game. Never mind. I'll just pass on this. I'm done. Like it's fun to pick up and like mindlessly play, just like against bots, but like the online experience, I don't like most of the single player modes. I really hated how they made it so you can like run through shields and run through past your enemies, and also just like recoveries were way too strong in that game. Like it was a lot better than Smash 4, don't get me wrong. Smash 4 is really bad. But yeah. Let's skip that tangent now. The funny thing, like when Wii U came out, I just happened to be like the perfect target audience for it. Just because games I was getting into at that time, it's like they had Wind Waker HD, and I wanted to try out the GameCube Zeldas because I just got into Zelda games at that point. I was already a Pikmin fan, so the console had Pikmin 3 on it. I don't remember if I knew about Xenoblade yet, just as I bought it. Yeah, I think I did. So, like, I wanted to play X. And then I was getting into Smash Bros. Again, like, played Brawl a bunch, but then I was playing it again, like, more framed to the mind of, like, oh, you can, like, compete. It's not just a sandbox for playing around. Yeah, so the Wii U ended up being perfect for me. That thing, like, was a disaster, though, from just, like, a design standpoint. It just didn't make sense for most people. And, like, the compromises they made of, like, it having, like, the worst CPU in a main console, as well as being, like, 3 generations behind the PS4 and Xbox One a year later in terms of GPU graphics, as well as like only 2 gigs of memory. It like just compromised out of the gate. Like you really wonder if like they had originally charged like $450 or something, and just like buffed the hardware like by $50 each or something. How much better Nintendo of a spot Nintendo would have been in, and then like actually told all their game devs about what their what the hell is it called? Game dev kits actually did, because they gave game devs like a white one, a red one, and a blue one, and then didn't tell them what each did and what they were for. So it was just infamous like arrogance and greed Nintendo had in that Wii era. Like Neryl made an excellent video reviewing Star Fox Zero and the Wii U in tandem, because it just kind of showcased, this is the best showcase of like why this concept didn't really make sense for anyone, and like how designing games for it just like isn't actually a real benefit. Like I liked the Wii U gamepad. Thing's comfy as hell. If you never held one, I feel bad. It's one of the comfiest controllers out there. Having the analog sticks both above, on top aligned. It's nice. Plus and minus buttons were way too far down though. Switch definitely fixed that. Uh, yeah, Wii U bad. But like, I got a view on it was like I basically got an extra kind of shitty tablet that goes along with whatever games I was playing on the side. So just like load up YouTube on the gamepad and then play other games. Like, hey, want to go play on my 360? The games with my friends there, and I have other things load up on the side. I also have like a full internet browser on that thing. It's nice. The app's kind of barely worked after a time though. Like by later in 2016, the YouTube app just kept getting slower and slower and slower. No, it's just kind of barely worked. It's just funny. Yeah, so the Switch 2, its appeal to me is just kind of limited. I had very few Switch 1 games later on down the line that appealed to me. It was just kind of like Pikmin 4. And then I picked up Tears of the Kingdom as well. And I haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom. I got like half-ish way through. It's a big game, but it's also kind of the same game. People have polarized opinions. And it's very funny, because I don't care. Switch 2 performance is going to be a weird thing. Like, funnily enough, like 2 years before I started this YouTube channel, I had written like a third of a script for talking about like hardware performance options that Nintendo had, and like kind of gaming out throughout what exists for like performance targets and all that, because like a bunch of games journalism that mostly covers like just the software was kind of like mystified by what exactly a next gen system would be and what advantages it would have, just how much stronger would a new system would be. So I ended up throwing together like a design doc of just like, you can really just like TSMC's like transistor node improvements are just listed on their website because they have to be correct about it and have it be public. Otherwise, like their whole reputation of their company is on the line. And like most of Taiwan. So like you can actually just go on their website and then multiply up from transition nodes they've upgraded through. Like when the Switch 1 got its like energy efficiency upgrade, it's because they went from TSMC's 20 nanometer node to 16. And if you look on their website, 60% power efficiency improvement. And then if you multiply the battery life estimates that Nintendo gave without changing their battery capacity or anything, you know it's 60% longer. Like, it's not exactly rocket science. Like, it's complicated, but it's not like unknowable what you can estimate from it. So I was just kind of like mapping out like all the options they had. Overall, I think the Switch 2 will do well, better than the Switch 1 for like, because Switch 1 felt dated after the first year. Like, it was fine the year it came out, but then years after that, it's like, oof, this console does not feel like it has the hardware for what gaming's doing. Whereas the Switch 2, I think, will be fine for like 2-3 years. But if you like map out performance based on like just resolution and pixel density, you can like guesstimate how much better a new system would do. Like if it's getting over double the performance in like a 900p game like Breath of the Wild, okay, shaky 900p, you can, if you up that resolution to like 12-ish 100p, you'll get like a stable locked performance, and then you upscale it more to a 4K display. Well, you know, you have your old games upgraded, but we don't know if they will. I have a suspicion they will for the Zelda games, but like probably all the other ones will, like, if they have dynamic elements in their presentation, it will probably just kind of scale with the hardware. So like games that dynamic res down probably just won't anymore, like Mario Odyssey. Makes me wonder exactly what they're doing with third-party devs on their system for performance upgrades, because it's like, what's the change? How are they going to handle it? Because I know a lot of devs are pretty mad at Nintendo's policy for supplying game updates, because it's just very delayed and they require like longer wait periods than every other platform. But if there's enough demand for it, it could be fine. Whenever a new system gets rolled out, all the technology's a myth. Luddites like come out from the woodwork. It's like, this doesn't even look any better. Yeah, you said that for 2 gens in a row now. You think if we compare these PS5 games to these PS3 games, you're gonna be too impressed? Are you just that dumb? I think people would just put the least amount of efforts, like, I can't tell from this compressed YouTube video the graphics quality difference. It's like, yeah, this new Mario Kart game does not look like the one that came out in 2015. I'll tell you that much. The things they can do with animation and some of the dynamic lighting stuff is different. I kind of wonder for the new Mario Kart game what the gimmick's gonna be. My hypothesis. No, it was bad mouth and speculation at the start, but I'll just throw this out there for the hell of it. My speculation is course creation, like having user-made courses, because that level that they showed was extremely flat. This could just be like a dynamic playground for building your own courses and all that. Also, people are kind of suspicious of if they're gonna do more crossover stuff. Like, obviously, doubling the player count per race. Something you can do on Switch, especially at this model fidelity. People joking around just because the game's stylized does not mean that there hasn't been a technical leap here to achieve all this stuff. Idiots. Dummies. Damn fools. So sorry I haven't made any Hitman videos. Because like of my failed recording on the green episode, and just like not working out. But I want to do the same gimmick again. Means that like I just have to come back to it on a day where like I actually feel like it, and it doesn't feel like a little sting. Plus I'm like full hands-on my Xenoblade X video. That'll be out next week, or like maybe this week. Is this coming out Sunday? I don't know. Yeah, I've just kind of been full hands on recording B-roll footage and all that, and recording a fun gameplay video as a break in between all that is just like kind of takes the fun out of it a little. When you're recording games, like, you don't really want to be putting that much focus. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you on another day.